All right, welcome to another day of Burnout Breakthrough with Kathie's Coaching podcast. On these episodes, we have been learning so much about burnout, what it is, all different kinds of ways to deal with it, and also a lot of quick wins. And today, I'm really excited about this episode. My friend Kate from Generate Magic is going to give us some tips on all kinds of interesting things. And I've been really excited about this particular episode. So I'm going to turn it over to Kate for just a minute and let her introduce herself to you and kind of tell you what she does and maybe get some ideas about what we're going to talk about. You. All right, Kate.
Cool. Yes, Kathie, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for this as well. So Generate Magic, I like to say that it's not just a brand or a business, it's also a way of life. And every moment is essentially an opportunity to generate magic. And so when I first came up with the name for my company, I believe it was in 2017. And I was just kind of thinking about what I wanted to stand for. And when I thought about it, magic is really, it's, as I like to say, it's not just pulling rabbits out of hats or making something out of nothing, but rather the magic comes from within you. And generate indicates that it's a very active process. And so it's using the raw materials of your life, anything that you experience, any thought, any feeling, all of that is an opportunity to create magic. And so it's really great because you don't have to go and assemble any ingredients outside of yourself. It's all within you. and and also I don't know if you've experienced this, but I was in the state where I was learning a lot of great tools and a lot of great programs, but it becomes a little bit overwhelming after a while. And that I would just have this long list of meditations and processes. And I was like, oh man, by the time I do all this stuff, that's like the whole day is gone. They haven't. But by adopting the philosophy of generating magic, it's like you don't have to do any of these outside processes. You can just go and live your life, and then everything then becomes an opportunity to generate the magic within you. So it's a really great system how it works out. Very efficient.
I love that. And yes, I have had that. And I think that that's a great segue into talking about stress and overwhelm and burnout because I have had that overwhelm of all these different processes, all these different programs. And I really like how you said, use what you have, because that's something else we've been talking about inside these episodes is finding balance and finding things that are just in your life. You don't have to go out and make more and do this and do that. So tell us how Generate Magic deals with burnout, stress, or overwhelm, what you call it, and kind of give us a little glimpse into what it's like to work with you.
Absolutely. And so this is actually very convenient because just today I was feeling very overwhelmed. And now I realize it all happened exactly as it was meant to because it provided an opportunity for me to now talk to you and to your audience about how I dealt with it. Since I have a big project that I'm currently working on, which means I have a lot of tabs open on my computer, and my computer is a very old computer. And so it's having a lot of difficulty handling all these various tasks. And so the fan sort of running very loud, like the computer was getting very overwhelmed and overheated. And it was literally the fan was making these noises, like these grinding noises. And then it was doing this thing for the keyboard. I don't know what it is. It's like the keyboard is possessed. And so it just starts typing R's. For some reason, that's its favorite. It's funny. My boyfriend was like, "Oh, it's kind of like you're a pirate." And it's not just spewing R's everywhere. And yeah. And then on top of that, I had all these people messaging me about different things on my phone. And I was like, oh no, it's too much. And I was actually starting to feel very panicked. And then people, you know how people quote unquote gurus. They're always like, go back to your breath. And I would, for a long time, I just kind of like dismissed this. I was like, I don't have time for that. But I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I just sat there and I took a couple of breaths, and I have like some mantras that I've been kind of working with. And, one of them is like, I am the balancing breath. And another one is like, I am the resurrection and the life. And so like, as I went breathing in and out and saying those mantras, I actually really did begin to feel calmer. And it reminded me of, I've been saying this a lot in my videos, mostly as a reminder to myself. I feel like everything that I put out, whether I'm working with somebody or putting out a piece of content, it's like something it's a reminder for myself. And because I truly believe that we are all one, then other people will benefit from these as well. And sure enough, I'm always getting people telling me, thank you for the reminder. And so anyway, one of them is like, I am is always there for you. And kind of every moment is a clean slate. And so it doesn't matter kind of how seemingly far gone you are. And so in the past, I would have kind of beat myself up like, oh, I let myself get stressed, or I let myself, get worked up about all these things. And it's like, no, it's acknowledging wherever you are is perfect, and just accepting wherever you are, and then accepting that clean slate, and telling myself, okay, what do I choose to experience now? Not what should I experience now. Should is a word that I try to avoid whenever possible, but rather what would I like to experience now? Yeah, and just taking those deep breaths. And it's just very comforting to know that I could be my own resource. As helpful as it could be to talk to somebody else who has like a calming presence in those moments, sometimes nobody else is around. And in those moments, that's when you need to be your own resource. And again, I think that's what Generate Magic is really about, is resourcefulness.
Wow, that was so helpful, and I had to just chuckle when the R comes up. And that your friend said it would your computer was a pirate. I mean, I'm thinking about putting a pirate up on the screen in my editing to just give us a little oldies and that. I think they bring that to light, because what I love about what she just taught us is bringing everything into balance and just letting it be for a minute. And sitting in that space and that silence is a great place to be, because we're trying to fix so much. And when we get burnt out, it's like, just take a deep breath and relax. And I like her mantras. You can come up with your own mantras. I like to say everything in life is balance. In balance, it's as it's supposed to be. That's something that I tell myself a lot of times when I get overwhelmed and stressed. And so that right there is a quick win. And I like the name of her business, how Generate Magic. And Kate is one of my experts that I work with inside my corporate wellness program, where we just discuss different things. And Kate, real quick, I want to touch on this because I think this is pretty powerful. So Kate is a master copywriter. I love the way she writes. You've got to sign up for her email list inside the show notes and description below, because I'm going to have a blog post that goes on every video that has all the links to what we talk about today, as well as where you can sign up for Kate's email list. Because when I get her emails, I'll read them and I'm like, it feels so much better. Like she said, I'm one of those people that go, thank you. I needed to hear that. I'm right there with you. I understand that. And I do a lot of my content the way she does. So I'm going through something. I learned a lesson and I want to share it. And so one thing that Kate's an expert at, and she does in her coaching, is she does the hero's journey with you, and she'll help you rewrite your story, or perhaps show you where your strengths are, where your perceived weaknesses are, and how to rewrite those. And just real quick, Kate, I'm probably going to have you back on another episode to really dive deep into this, but I'd like to hear a little bit about what you do so my audience can kind of get a little nugget and we'll tease them for the next time.
Yes, absolutely. And so when I come to think about it, I feel like everything that I do is, in a sense, kind of walking people through the hero's journey framework. Even I really like EFT as well, like tapping. And because when you're tapping, what you're doing is first like acknowledging whatever it is that you're experiencing, right? And so I am so angry, I'm so sad, whatever it is. But then you say, but I deeply love and accept myself. And I love that component of it because it's not like you're fighting against it. It's not like you're kind of wrestling against the emotion. Instead, you're just kind of you're accepting it and loving it and then moving through it. And yeah, the word and acceptance for me has been huge. And that's another thing that I do sometimes too, if I don't necessarily have time to tap. If I have some sort of thought or feeling that's really like agitating me, I just say like, thank you, I love you. And then it's so weird. It's just like it dissolves. And so yeah, and so it's kind of like moving, it's kind of moving then through that. And um and then you're kind of moving to whatever it is that you would like to experience. And so the Shura journey is the same way in that it's very integrated. And so I like things to very like integrated and that every part is essential. And so you're not saying this is a bad experience or this is a good experience or this is like a bad thought, a negative thought, whatever, or this is a good thought. It's not like you're putting labels or categories. Instead, you're kind of weaving them together into a cohesive narrative, and you're seeing how everything fits together and how everything is just like a book or a movie. And so any great work of art, you can see how there's light and there's darkness, there's sad moments, happy moments, but you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, I only want the happy moments in the movie or the book," because then it wouldn't be what it is, right? And so it's like every part is like contributing to this beautiful masterpiece. And so the hero's journey is getting to see your own life as being this beautiful masterpiece. And I think it really kind of helps because I feel like a lot of kind of mainstream manifestation techniques, well, they can be helpful. I think one reason they could be problematic for some people is that I feel like it can cause like disassociation or disconnection where you do like a visualization. And so you're in this kind of nice, what you kind of see as being like this nice fantasy land. And then you just go about your daily life with all your perceived problems, and there's like this disconnect, and you're like, okay, how do I close that gap? Um, and so the hero's journey is really a way of closing the gap because you see how everything, even the challenges, are leading you to the actualization of all your goals and desires. And so I would say the principle is really like transmutation. And so, like in my group coaching programs, we do a lot of activity around transmutation. And one of my favorites is actually called Alchemize Crap into Gold. And, and so it's literally somebody will take like what they perceive as being some like unfortunate experience and it's getting them to see the gold in that experience. And so you could say, oh, well, maybe, I lost my job or I had a bad breakup or I was rejected, whatever. But then you can see how it actually ended up opening the door to something that was even better for you.
Wow, I have loved that, but I really like this because it's gonna be a great segue into my guest, that's my friend Nick. He is going to be talking about tapping, and he actually helped me do everything Kate just talked about. Just yesterday, he helped me through some anxiety I was having. We called it anxiety, and he walked me through the tapping, and it brought my anxiety way down. But what it did, and what I really want to hone in on here, is it helped me to accept the emotion that I was feeling. And on top of that, because I was accepting the emotion and I wasn't labeling it good or bad. And that's exactly what she said when you don't label it good or bad. And then Kate turned something, one of my favorite books is The 50th Law. And she talked about turning crap into sugar, whereas 50 State calls it turning SHIT into sugar. And it, it it's so helpful to transmute that emotion, feel the emotion, and don't label it and let it go. And it lets everything come into balance back where we started. And that is a great way to just end this episode. And I will definitely be having Kate back on because Kate and I work together a lot and we have, we're part of a mastermind. So we both uh, connect on so many different levels and talk about different things. And I really love how she teaches and coaches on her channel. I will have links to that again in the show notes and description below in the blog post that goes with every episode that I have on my channel. And so, with having said that, that's our episode for today. I trust that you found it helpful. And if you know somebody who can benefit with this, please share it with them. And until next time, I will see you next time. Peace out and namaste.